Hey everybody, welcome. I want to just say hi to everybody and welcome you here to the Calm Zone presentation that we're doing. It's 8 ways to support a strong immune system, and I think this is very important. I think the concepts that we're going to be going over are very basic and should be well known to most people, but nobody ever really puts it together in this fashion. Everything that we're going to be going over here has all been shown in research, and you're going to see the links to the research or see the references to that research on the slides that we go through it. So, watch this, learn some ways to keep yourself healthy and stay calm, especially when we have stressful times like this. So, thank you again for showing up, and feel free to reference this at any time. Just a quick introduction. If you're not watching this on my Facebook page already, I'm Dr. Mark. I'm a chiropractor. I own Haverhill Family Chiropractic. I'm also a certified functional medicine practitioner, which is just extra education I've had mainly to sum it up for family reasons. And a lot of what I do is for or because it's stuff I want to learn for my family or because of my family. And I take what I learn and I apply it to our local community here to help other people as well. And if you know me, you know that a lot about me. A lot of what I do is for my family and for the community at large, and that's why I love doing what I do. Um, but that's really enough about me. If you have questions, you can always email me and ask. But I want to get right into the information here so we can get through this relatively quick. I don't want to take up a ton of your time, but I want to give you as much useful information as I can in the short time that we have here. So we'll start off by saying this. I gotta say it. Make sure that you follow CDC recommendations and local government regulations. Be smart. Use common sense. The stuff that's going on now is very serious stuff. And today, what we're going to discuss is how you can stay calm and do what you can do to be as healthy as you can during these times. For background, I think it's important to understand what immunity is. Your immune system is a set of body defenses that are there to help fight against foreign bodies and infectious agents. It's very complex, but what we tend to do is divide it up into two parts. The first part is called innate immunity. It's present in everything that's alive. It's awesome because it's really fast. It'll attack anything external or abnormal that gets into your body, and it's your first line of defense. It's your first barrier. It's the first thing in your immune system that reacts incredibly quickly to any pathological threat. And it transmits information to actually help your body with the adaptive immunity, which we'll talk about in a second. But it mobilizes the other half of your immunity, that adaptive immunity. Now, your adaptive immunity tends to be a little bit slower. It needs a few days to develop. And it's only present in vertebrates, which I think is very interesting. And it's more specifically directed against very specific pathogens, and it generates a memory of those pathogens. So this is one of the things that you think of or that gets enhanced when you have something like a vaccine or when you've had chickenpox and your body develops an immunity towards that. We will talk a little bit more about that as well. But your innate immunity is that inborn immunity. Everybody has it as soon as they're born. It's your natural protection that we're born with, and it's our first line of defense to combat any infection. And when it detects an infection, that innate response acts very quickly and tries to flush out invaders by producing those things that people tend to like to pull back on. Like you take a cold medicine and it's trying to combat your fever or it's trying to dry up your sinuses and all that stuff. That mucus and that fever and that coughing, that's all because your innate immune system is trying to do its job and actually expel whatever's going on from your body. So it turns up your thermostat and tries to destroy it with a fever, or produces extra mucus to trap it and keep it from spreading through your body. It's really cool. It's one of the amazing processes that our body goes through. This is just another look here at how your immune system is divided up. Your innate immunity consists of these cells here, and your adaptive immunity is a lot more specific. Like I said, this is your gatekeeper. It's not specific, but it pretty much goes after anything that's not supposed to be there. Your adaptive immunity over here develops over time. And like I said, a good example of this is the immunity that you get when you have a vaccine, or when we were younger, if you went to a chickenpox party or something like that, or if you had had measles when you were younger. That's your body's adaptive immunity at work. So I want to get into the 8 different ways to support a strong immune system. Like I said, these are all scientifically backed. I'm not going to tell you to do anything crazy here, but pay attention. You've probably heard a lot of this stuff before, but this is the stuff that you want to take care of. You want to take care of the basics to make sure you stay as healthy as possible. First of all, can't really underline this enough, can't emphasize it enough, but eating better, making sure you eat healthy foods, is essential for lowering your stress and keeping your immunity up. Deficiencies of zinc, selenium, iron, copper, folic acid, vitamins A, B6, C, and E all alter your immune response. And the best way to fix those specific ones is to eat your fruits and vegetables. How simple is that? Things we've been getting told to do for years are one of the easiest ways to keep your immune system up and going. Number 2, get plenty of sleep. Sleep is super important for your immunological memory. It enhances your immune defenses by using the nervous system to communicate with the immune system. Long-lasting memory comes from sleep initiating these adaptive responses. And immune activation is timed to resting periods. So sleep allows your body to send energy-rich fuels to the immune system and gives it another boost. So make sure you get that sleep. If you're not getting that good regenerative sleep, your immune system is going to suffer. So sleep cycles are impacted by a whole bunch of things. You can see what it says on the slide here. Your posture, even physical activity, diet, temperature, light, all these things. Lack of sleep puts your body into a very inflammatory state, which has a very negative effect on your immune system. So even with these changes that we've had in our daily schedule lately, which might be screwing up your sleep, maybe the kids are home, maybe their sleep screwed up, maybe your sleep screwed up because you're working extra hours, who knows? But try to maintain a normal sleep cycle and prioritize your rest to keep your immune system working the way it should be. Number 3, also super important, staying calm and not stressing is a very good way to make sure your immune system is working as well as it can. Because just being stressed physically and emotionally is going to downregulate your immune system. Chronic stress can actually activate latent viruses. Your body can have viruses sort of floating around the system that are inactivated, and chronic stress will allow them to activate and work around again. The immune system of older people isn't able to respond to stress as well as young people, so older people are actually at more risk the more stressed out they get. And being calm can actually change your immune cell signaling, which is really cool because calm can also decrease the likelihood of developing diseases and reduce the symptoms of pre-existing conditions. One of the things you can do is reduce stress by meditating, reading, or using a mindfulness app such as Calm. I actually have Calm on my phone. And right now, if you know any healthcare professionals can get Calm for free while all this is going on, which is a great resource for them. Number 4, make sure you get your sunlight exposure. Vitamin D synthesis is essential to keep your immune system strong, and sunlight helps maintain your adequate vitamin D. That's really tough when you're coming out of winter like we are now. Most people in the Northeast do not have high enough levels of vitamin D, which is really rough. As vitamin D levels go up, sicknesses tend to go down. So if you can't get enough sun, talk to someone about how much vitamin D you should be adding into your system, how much you should be taking to try to get those levels back up to an optimum level. And if you haven't been checked for your vitamin D levels, now is a great time to do it to know what you're at, where you're at, going into the spring and summer. Number 5 here, there have been people that have been saying that alcohol will kill the virus. Alcohol kills viruses on surfaces, obviously, but gargling with it, swishing it, drinking it is not going to kill it in your system. And part of that is because alcohol really screws up your immune system. Your ability to defend against infections is reduced as you drink alcohol. and it negatively impacts both your innate and your adaptive immunity, as well as kills a lot of the microbes in your gut, which are a crucial part of immunity because they're that first step of preventing things from getting from your gut into your body when they're in the intestines. So just because you're home, you don't have to drink. Monitor your alcohol intake so you can support your immune system. And if you know people that are prone to drink more, make sure you keep tabs on them because you don't want them necessarily to be sicker or get sick or have more likelihood of getting sicker because they're drinking potentially more than they even were before. Keep in mind that your brain actually controls all of this. Both innate and adaptive immunity are coordinated by your brain, which contributes to your long-term immune memory. But your immune and your nervous system are connected, and they actually kind of control each other. Your brain and your central nervous system live in your skull and spine. As a chiropractor, I am acutely aware of that and realize that because your brain controls and coordinates so much stuff, including your immune system, you have to keep your brain and the rest of your nervous system extremely healthy. And one of the things that is basically a vitamin for your brain is movement. Movement of your spine, movement of your entire body is a great way to keep your brain happy. It's like nutrition. It's like feeding your brain. It keeps it working. It keeps it doing what it's supposed to do. So keep moving. If your spine isn't moving well, you get adjusted. If your muscles are tight, get a massage. Get exercise and get movement in every single day to keep your brain healthy, which will help coordinate your immune system a lot better. Make sure that you try to find natural ways to reduce any aches and pains. As a chiropractor, that makes sense to me. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that want to find natural ways to reduce aches and pains. But because pain can negatively affect the function of your immune system, it is important to take care of that. Try to find natural methods, whether it's something like CBD, whether it's chiropractic care, whether it's massage, whether it's some sort of herb, anti-inflammatory herb, curcumin, turmeric, ginger, you name it. Try something like that before you aim for medications, mainly because medications like anti-inflammatories are actually shown to compromise your immune system, not help it. It might help the pain go down, but it can mess up your immune system. So find something a little more natural. Wash your hands. We've been hearing a lot about this lately. Totally agree. We should be doing it all along anyways. Not just when there's some sort of pandemic going on, but science says that hand washing prevents or can prevent about 20% of respiratory infections. That's a lot. Antibiotics, for some reason, are still prescribed unnecessarily for a lot of these health issues, and I think nowadays most of that's because of patient pressure towards the doctor. But it is getting better. Antibiotics are not prescribed nearly as much for these respiratory infections as they used to be. But reducing the number of these infections by washing your hands frequently is going to help prevent the overuse of antibiotics, which is the single most important factor leading to antibiotic resistance. But keep in mind, hand washing can also prevent people from getting sick with germs that are already resistant to antibiotics, and that can be difficult to treat. So basically wash your hands to keep yourself from getting sick. Common sense, right? I think we've all heard a lot of that lately. Don't give up on washing hands when this whole thing's over. Just keep doing it. The CDC says to wash your hands 10 to 20 times a day for 20 seconds. I think we knew about the 20 seconds, and I think we all knew about the soap, but 10 to 20 times does seem like a lot, doesn't it? But that's like once an hour. That's really not that often if you think about it. I think if we all keep up with it, we'll do really well. But check out the CDC if you want to learn more about washing your hands. I don't need to get into it too much here. All right, so we're going to summarize a little bit here. Here's some do's about keeping your calm and keeping your immune system working. Number one, like I just said, wash your hands like your life depends on it. Maybe not necessarily like your life depends on it, but keep in mind that other people's might, because you don't want to end up being a carrier for something that you pass along to someone else, especially if you're someone that handles money. That stuff's disgusting. Stay home when you're sick. I see this a lot in schools. People send their kids into school. They're sick, or they give them Tylenol in the morning so they seem fine. But if your kid is sick, if you're sick, stay home. 3, if you want to relax, just do it. Nowadays, do social distancing. Try to avoid things where you're going into large crowds. But if you want to chill, go in your backyard, go in your basement, read a book, do something to find a way to just hang out and relax. Number 4, I think we've heard a lot of this lately too. Don't touch your face. That's where a lot of these infections come with. Make sure you've at least washed your hands first if you are going to touch your face. I didn't need to say pick your nose, but you know what? That's on your face too. Number 5, make sure you stay well hydrated with water if you can. I'd like to say the fluid of your choice, but I also said don't drink alcohol before this, so something that will keep you hydrated. And just don't share. Don't share with people if you are drinking water. Keep in mind that unless you're old, unless you're already ill or have some underlying conditions, you'll probably be fine even if you catch it. If you catch coronavirus, most people are going to be fine. Some people are hospitalized, but most healthy people will be fine. You have better odds of getting hurt from an auto accident, bike crash, or losing a lot of money from bad investment. And, rest, relax, live as healthy as you can. I think that goes without saying. Stress, lack of sleep, poor nutrition, poor hygiene, all these things are going to weaken your immune system. So get enough sleep, eat well, and wash your hands, and then do it again. Don't eat, drink, or scratch your face if you haven't just washed your hands really well. Wash them like the toilet paper was too thin. Remember that. Don't go visit grandma. I know that's really hard. It's really tough for us too. We have grandparents for our kids, and we can't go visit them right now. We don't feel comfortable visiting them, especially with my exposure to the public and seeing people. But we do the best we can by calling. We do the best we can by FaceTime now. It works really well. It's not a perfect replacement for getting a big hug, but that's what we have to do right now. Number 3, try to avoid the ER if you have any spinal issues. 1, you're going to spend a long time when you're there. You're going to be around a lot of people with germs, but that's a great time to go visit a chiropractor. You can't go visit a massage therapist right now, that's for sure, but chiropractors, PTs are still open, and most of them are around and will help you if you need help. But stay out of the emergency rooms for this stuff. Go find someone that's around that doesn't see hordes of people. There aren't a lot of sick people hanging around. Call someone, get that taken care of. Don't call the ER and ask if they're busy. Guess what? They're busy. They're not going to tell you what to do on the phone anyways. Don't share anything at all. Oh, there's no 6. Whoops. I'll fix that later. Don't share an ice cream or anything with anybody, really, especially if it has to do with your face. No utensils, no water bottles, no food. Don't do any of that. Don't try people's stuff. Keep it to yourself. And I think the biggest thing here, and I think a lot of people will agree with this, is don't believe everything that you read on social media. There's so much misinformation out there. It's become ridiculous. You'll read one thing one day. The next day, somebody will post something that refutes it. Everybody goes back and forth. And honestly, people are getting so mad at each other for no reason. It's the last thing we need. What I'm trying to do here is provide people with the opportunity to remain calm, stay as relaxed as they can, have the info that is based in science that they can look back at and know that they have that stable base and will be comfortable. So don't believe everything you read. If you really want to look into it, you can, but for the most part, put your blinders on. That being said, that's kind of everything for now. We're going through and we're doing something called a Calm campaign this month. Every day we're posting something just to help people kind of focus and bring back their calm. So please join us on the Facebook page all month. You can learn more about how our bodies work and what we can do to best take care of ourselves. So when you do that, you can learn to stay calm and you can stay smart. Because really what we want to do is we want to get through all this together. And we're going to. If you want to follow along, if you want to learn more information, and you're not already watching this on our Facebook page, go to facebook.com/HaverhillFamilyChiro, click like, click following if you haven't already, and if you want to see our stuff first, click on see first. That way we're always showing up on your feed, and you can see the great information that we've been sharing. If you have any questions, I'm even putting my text number on there. If you want to text me, you can do that. Some people are more comfortable with it. You can message us directly on Facebook, like I said, through facebook.com/HaverhillFamilyChiro. And for tonight, I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to leave the screen up here for a second. But I hope you got some great information out of this. Please share this. Let people know that there is good, basic information out there that will help them. They will stay healthy and they can stay calm, and we'll all get through this together. That being said, I hope you all have a great night. Thank you for listening, and I hope to hear from you soon.